So we're back with more America to Korea. This is episode 6, and this time around, we get 3 more trainees, and then we'll see if they get dance stones. But anyways, let's just get. Also, wait, hold on. Did you guys notice? I'm not sure if they did this before, but there seemed to be a lot more commentary on other contestants from the trainees, and so I kind of just noticed that they were making more like showing showing like girls in the panel saying, "Wow, her dance was so good." I don't know if they did that before. I feel like that's kind of a new thing. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I didn't notice it before. But yeah. Anyways, Kaylee is the first one up, and basically from the last time she performed, she needed to look more relaxed, and she was stiff according to JYP. But this time around, she seems pretty confident, and I noticed that she kind of has this decent perception of like how the other girls are doing in her commentary, and all the girls seem to like her. They look at her as a baby, I guess. So she's got that advantage going for her. Now, when it went to her dance, now I actually was a little bit surprised, maybe not in a good way though. And I feel like when I was watching this dance, I felt like she didn't really seem to understand how to express the moves. And I don't know if it's because of her youth, but I felt like she needed to work on some kind of groove or intuition because there was this kind of oddness to the movement of the movement. That's my perception of her dance. Now JYP, he basically liked that she was so relaxed, and so I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, he did give her that commentary feedback the last time that she needed to be more relaxed, and I guess the way I was looking at it compared to how when she first performed, maybe she overcorrected, and that's my estimation of it. Is that I felt like she was overcorrected, and it felt a little bit like it didn't feel like in the groove for me, and so I was kind of surprised that he was like uh, that he actually liked it a lot, and I don't know, maybe he just likes the slowness of it, or I'm not sure, but I feel like I've seen "What Is Love" many times, and it's actually like one of the first top 3 Twice songs that I started listening to when I first started listening to Twice, and so where I'm coming from is that I think I know this dance, and I love seeing Twice do it. And so for me, it's like when I look at someone else do it, I guess she's expressing herself, and that's what JYP likes. He seems to like a lot of sincerity, but I still feel like there is a baseline like sense to the dance that you kind of should be lining up with. Now, this is interesting because we get into the next trainee, and it's Gina, the JYP trainee, and uh, I actually thought JYP might go easy on her, and I think he did too. But anyways, she was very relaxed when she came out, and obviously she got a good ranking the last time. Even for me, I said that her dancing actually was where she expressed her uh, emotional world better than in her singing, and I thought she was lacking in that regard. Now, when it actually came to her dancing this song, I thought it was very good, and this is one of those dances that I actually watch, and I know this dance the way they dance it, and I mentioned Yuna from ITZY before, and I was like, Yuna does the foot thing right in this one, and the other members of ITZY, they're not as good as Yuna did. But I feel like Gina did a good job with the foot movements here, especially the parts that Yuna would do. And I don't know. I think it's body type is part of the reason that they get that kind of the foot and the neck movement right. But I still feel Yuna is still the best at it though. But JYP, he was saying that even though she was like good in every way, that her dance was not alive enough, and that she was not expressing herself through the dance, I guess. But it was still perfect somehow. So he gave her a gem. He gave Kaylee a gem too. But I thought it was interesting that the criticism he has of Gina was the criticism I had of her when she was singing. It's pretty much the same thing that I was talking about. But this time around, it didn't bother me, but it bothered him this time in the dance. And maybe I was looking too technically at this dance, and the way this relates to the last song, which Kaylee danced to, is that I was saying that I wish Kaylee was more in line with the choreo as well. And so I guess the takeaway from this is that I do when I do remember choreo, I like it done a certain way, and I feel like I wouldn't fault these girls for doing it the particular way, but I would fault them for deviating from it. And I guess that's where I differ from JYP on this. That I do like things to be done a certain way, whereas JYP is just looking for pure like, hey, are you like a dancing from your soul and whatever. So that was an interesting thing. That okay. So both Kaylee Both Gina got their dad stones, but it's almost like he liked that Kaylee was more relaxed and maybe less. She was. I felt like she wasn't. I feel like he should have criticized her a little bit, but all he said was that she was really relaxed and he liked everything about it. But I felt like she overcorrected. You go back to Gina, and it's like dance is not alive enough. But I felt like she was really well in line with the choreo, and so he was like, "Oh, if you do this 10 times, you're gonna do it exactly the same." Okay, I get it. Right? This is basically him wanting her to be a little bit more self-expressive. But I'm not sure how you get Gina to do that because it feels like sometimes she does it, maybe sometimes she doesn't. So the last trainee is Yuna, and like I said about Yuna before, I feel like she's center material. I feel like it's a shoe in. I feel like you should have her in the group no matter what. Like I don't even care how well she does in singing and dance. I feel like she should be in the group. And of all the contestants there, I feel like this is the most I feel about like if you vibe check someone, I just think that you can't let this girl get away no matter what. And so I'm gonna go on a limb and say that I feel like you don't let this girl go. You can milk her for drama all you want, but you don't let her go in the end. Because if you do, then I think you're gonna regret it. But it comes so Yuna. Last time we saw her, he said that she just knew how to dance, and she needed to work on things like, I think was it power or speed or something. But otherwise, he liked the way she did it, and so he gets around to this, and when she does dance, I think it's quite good. But I noticed that she was rushing at times. And so I there's a particular time when she's moving, and it's almost like she's doing this move, and then she gets to the next move. And so this was a subtle thing that I paid attention to, and I wrote in my notes. Feels like rushing at times, but good presentation. That's basically what my note says. It says three things. It says quite good, feels like rushing at times, good presentation. And then you get JYP to comment on it, and he's like praising her, saying, "Wow, she is so talented." I'm like, "Oh, really, JYP? Are you gonna be like really nice to her?" But then I was surprised because after that, he actually said she was dancing ahead of the music, and I'm like, "Wait, that's kind of what I said, I think." But for me, I was like, "Oh, is she dancing too slowly, and now she has to rush to the next move?" Because I was looking at the transitions between the moves, and I was like, "Oh, she feels like she's in a hurry to get to the next move." So from my perspective, I wasn't watching the moves in particular to know that she was dancing slow, but I just assumed that maybe she was dancing slow, and that's why she had to rush to the next move. But from him, he's saying that she was dancing ahead of the music, and she was thinking more about the moves, but wasn't in pocket with the music. So it's kind of funny. I'm gonna say that he's the expert here, and he knows what he's talking about. From my perspective, I'm not really sure what it was. I just saw the rushing, but then he was saying that the rushing itself was her dancing ahead of the music, and so she wasn't like what I thought. It was maybe that she was like uh, too slow on some moves, and then she had to get to match the pocket of the music. She had to catch up to it. Anyways, I guess we were saying the same things, but we just saw it differently. And then he ended up not giving her a gem, and I thought that was kind of like a major foul because she was actually way better than a lot of other dancers. Now, I know that what he's basically doing here is saying that if you show improvement, then you can get a gem. But if you're so far ahead that you can't improve more than that, then you're in danger. But I feel like that's a major foul because the thing is, if you're past a certain point, then that you should have already received your gem. I feel like, and so you gave Gina a gem, but she wasn't dancing alive enough. But then here's someone who has the quality you want, but she's not technically there. Where technical stuff is easier to gain than kind of like soul stuff, stuff in your soul. And so I feel like Gina knows the style of her soul, and I would say like I just know it. I vibe check this, and she's center material. And if you let her go, she's not gonna be like, you're gonna miss out a lot more than I think she would. I feel like someone would pick her up after this, regardless. But anyways, that's it. And then what's interesting is that even though this is a potentiality test, he still gives them rankings, but the rankings have to stick to the potentiality. And so I've noticed that when you get here to check that. Oh, by the way, he has blurred out judges here, which was interesting. I don't know who these two people are. I don't know if they're eventually going to be uh, shown, but I've noticed that one of them is dressed very interestingly. I mean, this is like, could this be a celebrity judge? and then the other one's kind of dressed more casually. I mean, could it be what's her name? You know, he dances on the song Fever with that. Was it is Jang Ji Hoon or something? I can't remember her. I can't remember the name of that dancer. And like, would he like surprise the Sunmi or something? I don't think it's Sunmi because Sunmi is really like thin. Like her body's surprisingly thin when you see her. But like, I'm not sure. Are these gonna be celebrity judges? But anyways, he ranks them, and then you get to the rankings, and he has the top 8. And I'm kind of like, when I see these rankings, let me just get to the chart. Okay, so I just the top 2 are Christina. Christina's number 1, and I'm actually pretty happy about that. I feel like she deserves it. Number 2 is Kendall, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I feel like Kendall should be like number 6 or something. And then Lexi's in third. Lexi should be second. I don't know why she's Lexi now. I thought she was Lexus. Maybe it's a branding issue. They don't want to get sued by the actual car company. Then Savannah's fourth, Gina's fifth. I feel like Kendall was way up there when she probably shouldn't have been. I just did not see her performance as that top shelf. Uh, and, but the rest of them are okay. And so I was kind of like surprised by that. But I feel like these rankings don't even make sense. But because you're giving them dance rankings, but then you exclude the people who did get gems, and I feel like that's just kind of like a punishment, in a way, for like people not growing. Because it's not a dance ranking; it's a growth ranking, really. And then the rankings themselves don't really make sense because you're not really sure why these rankings are here. They're just kind of there to make you feel bad or feel good. But the people behind the scenes are doing it, and then I'm like, oh, so those judges and JYP himself, they put Kendall in second. I was like, what? I don't know. What are they looking at? I don't know. I felt like Kendall didn't do that well, but that's just me. Anyways, that's this, and then there's a short preview of the vocal challenges. I'm not gonna get into that. I don't really like to talk about spoilers, but then there is a part at the end of the episode where they're like consoling each other. It's kind of heartwarming. They showed Camilla getting, not Camilla, Yuna getting consoled, and then they showed Misha getting consoled. But it seemed like Melissa was kind of like not really that emotional about it. She was also even like the last person to get out of her chair when everyone got up to console Yuna, uh, and so she was kind of like, I don't know, in a state of shock, or maybe I feel like there was something about it. But anyways, that is the that's A2K, and we have to go to bingo. So we did see a girl cry in this episode. Oh, that is the wrong color. Girl cries. Let's see. Body criticism, sports day, product placement. One girl already for a cliffhanger. No, we didn't get a lot of these. Early fave pressure. I thought that Gina might be someone who falls to this, but because Gina did not, she's kind of getting criticized a bit. There's no one who really stands out yet. I actually thought Yuna would rank way higher. As like, I thought Yuna and Gina were like being set up to have a kind of Mako me kind of style rivalry, but that didn't happen at all. But yeah, that seems to be all the bingo stuff for this episode. Uh, like I said the last time, I don't think any more of these, a lot of these card things are going to be filled out except for maybe sports day, product placement, or something. But a lot of them, they're kind of more for like a Queendom style, kind of like an Mnet style survival program. And so yeah, this is them. So we got 3 girls here, all here. Misha, Melissa, and Yuna did not get their gems, but everyone else got the gems, and so everyone else seems to be doing okay. And also noteworthy is JYP didn't award any extra gems at the end. So yeah, that's really all there is to see. I'm looking forward to the vocal performances next week. We already know that this whole middle row here with Melissa, Misha, KG Crown, and Camilla, they're already proven vocals. And then at the top here, we do know that Kaylee did well. Gina did okay. I didn't feel like she was that great. That was basically it. Savannah, I don't know if she's gonna rap. I'm wondering what the vocal challenge is gonna be for her. Is she gonna have to Is he gonna have to sing? I'd be interested to see that. And then as for the bottom, we don't know what Yuna or Kendall can do vocally, but it seemed like from the edit, Kendall may not be doing that well vocally. But that could have just been a bad edit. So I don't know if I could trust those. But hopefully, Yuna bounces back. Looking at these 11 right now, I really like. I'm gonna have to start calling her Lexi, I guess. Lexi, Lexi, Savannah, Christina, Yuna, and the other ones are up in the air right now. But they're all doing. Some are escalating for sure. Like Camilla really proved herself in the dance, and then I guess Kaylee is kind of consistently up there. But actually, Kaylee, I would say, I was kind of dropped in the expectation a little bit because of what I saw. But JYP didn't agree with that. But yeah, I don't really believe in these rankings, by the way. In the top 8 rankings that they had, I don't think these mean anything. I think they're just kind of there just to give people some kind of metric to look at. But I feel like they're meaningless. That's just my feeling. I don't think they have any bearing on final decisions at all. Like at all. I think they're just there to pressure the trainees. But anyways, I guess that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comment box down below. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.